Hi, everyone. I hope you had a wonderful spring break. We're going to start with 5.3a, which is a nice review from 5.2. And really, most of the next few weeks are going to be review from what we were doing right before spring break. So they remind you about a percent proportion. In our class, typically, we've been putting the part to whole on the left and then the percent over 100 on the right. But honestly, it doesn't really matter. You can do it either way. So we're going to start, we're going to look to see what happens and make sure you have a calculator out. So number one says that Bill cuts his weekly water use of his backyard by 15%. So important words there would be cut and then of the water and 15%. Then it tells you that he cut 45 gallons. How many gallons was he using before? So what we're looking for is we're going to let X equal the original amount of water. You can abbreviate amount AMT. So if he's cutting water, like cutting the use of the water, for our word ratio, we'll have water cut over original gallons of water. And now we're going to start using our part to whole relationships again. So he cut 45, so we need to make sure we put that on the top. We don't know how much he was using before. That's going to be our X. And then our percent, we have 15%, and percent is always out of 100. And now we're going to go ahead and cross multiply. So we have 15 multiplied by X is 45 times 100. If you put that into your calculator, you will get 4,500. And we're not quite finished here because we need to get X all by itself, so we'll divide both sides by 15. So just a reminder, using the calculator, the 4,500 goes in first, and then the divided by, and then the 15. And when you do that, you are going to get 300. So that means that Bill was using 300 gallons of water for his backyard. So all of the questions we're going to be doing in this section are all just like that. We're defining the variable, word ratio, and then using your really strong proportion skills. So looking at number 2, it says Sasha increased her monthly food budget by $30. So $30 is definitely important, but the fact that it's increasing, I think that's an important word. So we're going to underline that one too. If this represents, when it says if this represents, that's talking about the increase. So sometimes writing the word increase there can be really helpful. And then we have 5% of the original budget. How much was the original budget? So in the question, it's telling us what our let X will be. So we're going to let X equal the original budget. And then for our word ratio, since we keep seeing increase and then we have original, those would be some good descriptors to use for our word ratio. So we have our increase over our original budget. And it is okay just to put original if you'd like to. It tells us that the increase actually was $30 and we don't know how much it was to begin with, and that was 5%. So percent being over 100. And now we're going to go ahead and cross multiply. Some of you like to circle them, which is totally fine. So you're going to circle on the diagonals. So you have 5 times x, and then equals 30 times 100. And when you do that, you're going to get 3,000. And when we divide by 5 on both sides, we are going to get 600. So that means that Sasha's original budget was $600. So now that you've seen 2, it might be a great time to hit pause so that you can see if you can just set up number 3. If you're feeling really confident, you can go ahead and do the whole problem by itself, but I'll walk you down to a pause and then you can unpause afterwards and see if your answer matches in 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's see how it went. So Connor increased his monthly work hours by 40%, and he works 60 hours more per month. So the word more there is really important because that's telling us that we've got an increase. So we want to know how many hours he was working before. So we're going to let x equal the number of hours before. So descriptors that we keep seeing over and over again are the word increase and the word hours before, or you could put original if you'd like. Once you do that, we're going to have the 60 on the top and the x on the bottom, and then we've got the 40 on the top and the 100 on the bottom. So if we divide by 40 on both sides, you're putting the 6,000 in the calculator first, and then the divided by, and then 40, we're going to get 150. So that means that Connor was working 150 hours before. And that's going to be the end of segment 1. And when you're ready, you can go ahead and start segment 2.